10, 9,
10 seconds.
8, 7, 6, 5,
That door.
4, 3,
Half plate.
2, 1. And the RD-180 engine roars to life and liftoff of the maiden flight of the Lockheed Martin Atlas V rocket with a Hotbird 6 spacecraft on board for Eutelsat of Paris, France. With this Atlas V mission underway, let's listen to
at Cape Canaveral with this project, utilizing the Triton missile. They had been used in locomotives.
Cost to maintain the locomotives drove us to find an alternate means of transportation. So
We were involved in a machine that was sold to Florida, to Cape Landing, Florida, to a Lockheed Martin facility there. It didn't involve the rocket, actually. It's where they stored their fuel and stuff, and so this stuff is brought on rail cars.
we needed a means of moving the Titan IV SRMU segments out in Blanding, and that was coordinated through Kevin Sloan again. And he was an old locomotive guy, so his word meant a lot. He's saying that they work really good, never had a problem, and they were way more user-friendly than a locomotive. So I said, that pretty much tells me that I'll go with Trackmobile.
We had sold them a machine, like I had said, for Cape Landing, Florida, even though it's moving rail cars, which, that's the normal application for a Trackmobile, to move a rail car, so this is kind of a special deal. And when Dan described what they were building and what they were doing and everything, I thought, wow, what a unique situation here. We need to get involved.
Gary got a hold of me and told me what was going on. He sent me a copy of the file on Lockheed.
A lot of engineering stuff. My file's about 6 inches thick.
We just kind of reviewed it together to make sure that we could do it, because these were replacing big locomotives, and which was a big deal to us, and we had to make absolutely sure. And I think we ended up with like a 43% safety margin to make sure we could move this Atlas V. They operated the locomotives for years and years. These guys have been there for quite a while, and we're explaining to them what they are going to receive. And
well, we all had our doubts when we first, knowing the kind of weights we had to push and running the dual track. We all had our doubts whether we push it or not.
Obviously, there was a lot of skepticism in the beginning, especially when we showed up on site with these 2 Trackmobiles, instead of these huge, full-blown locomotives that these guys had been using.
Well, first, the impression was, ever who looked this up, I don't think had the knowledge there of what we were trying to move.
The Trackmobile is on contract. The locomotive guys were still pretty reluctant. They thought that the little Tonka toy wouldn't move anything.
Said, you better keep the locomotives, because I don't think we're going to get up the hill.
It took some overcoming. Fred Lee and I actually went down and trained all the operators. It was a real trip. All we got was negative, 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 negative.
Thought I'd never be able to push the loads that we're going to be pushing here with the vehicle.
Negative, 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 negative.
Looked a little light when we first saw them to, like I said, move the weights we were going to be moving.
You got this Trackmobile that's probably 20, 25 feet long at best, and you got a structure that's 180 foot tall. And,
180 feet?
It's a big structure, and you got this little bitty Trackmobile, and then you've got, we got an ECS van attached to the south side, and we've got a payload and an electrical van attached to the other side of this big steel structure. So it's not just a steel structure, it's some vans we pull along with it also. You look at all this, and this is just this little bitty Trackmobile, this little bitty thing, and you look at this thing and you go, there's no way it's going to push this.
In a commercial program, you don't want anything more than what you need. You want exactly what you need. You want the most efficient.
When we coupled to this launching platform, We had the automatic weight transfer system on it to ensure we got the proper weight and we didn't lift it too high. And that's the Max Trans system, and it also had the traction control because we didn't want the machine spinning out. And it also has anti-lock braking involved with the traction control.
It works very well for us, and we're very impressed with the machine.
So yeah, I'm glad we went that route. It's real user-friendly, and now the locomotive guys just absolutely love that trackmobile.
I just can't say enough about the trackmobiles as far as the versatility, being able to come on and off the tracks, and with something so versatile, having as much power to do our job. You just can't say enough about the trackmobile.
The trackmobile, of course, is the versatility of leaving the tracks is a real key issue with the trackmobile. But from operating costs going over a full-blown locomotive is substantial savings to Lockheed. Maintenance, key issue.
But we'd have a number of problems with locomotives.
You don't just go out and buy parts for a locomotive. It's expensive, it's expensive, it's expensive.
They've got a garage there, a big shop and everything, strictly there to maintain these locomotives. And, of course, now with the trackmobiles, it's a real simple issue.
In today's commercial launch service business, it's not just getting your satellite where it needs to be, it's also getting it there for the least dollar cost, and reliably getting it there on time.
My relation with Trackmobile has been great. I mean, they've supported schedule. They met up to our expectations.
I gotta, I guess, put a plug in for Fred Lee, because I was just amazed at the amount of support we got from Trackmobile. He couldn't do enough for us.
We get involved with operator and safety training along with the distributor.
Everything went well. We've pretty much done everything that they asked.
With Lockheed Martin, it was some of the best people to deal with.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd go with them again.
The locomotive is great, but for this application, the trackmobile is the way to go.
Facts of the matter is, it's much cheaper to operate a trackmobile, and I've got the reliability, and we're going to stay in this business for years to come with equipment like this.
Now that we've done it, probably half a dozen times anyway, it works beautiful. And I guess who was engineering it knew what they were doing.